right, that seem to come and go, you need to follow up with your doctor, all right? This channel's here just for a little bit of extra information so you don't have to kind of get sifting through the internet to try and figure out what's really going on, right? And so that's what this purpose is about today. Today we're going to talk about
Are we live? We are live. It's about time. Come on in, stick and stay. I'm going to try and get myself set up here. Throw out some shout outs for a second.
Not a lot. This is the Average Joe channel, all right? Average Joe PT. And I'm here to give you some information. I don't want to bore you to death, but at least want to give you an idea. What's this thing? Why do you even have this thing in there? All right? Some basic stuff. Why is it me? Why is it some tendonitis? So the first thing you're looking at there,
Hi, Kimberly. Hi, Kimberly. I'm just sharing myself out here. I'm just sharing myself out here. All right, there's Facebook, there's YouTube. Let's go ahead and shout out to my friends on Instagram. This is Average Joe PT. Come and see us live. We're going to talk about the knee tonight. Get connected. Get in here. Come on. Adding one up. Here we go. Next. Next. Okay, all three platforms. Hi, Rainey. Hi, Rainey. So I'm showing an older video that I did of the knee, as well as I'm going to show my newer knee that I got here over the weekend. Thank you, Rennie, for sharing me out. That's very nice of you. If you guys have any questions in regards to the knee or anything like that, just give me a holler. I also have obviously some other models here that we can talk about. But tonight, hey, Brown Eye Trucker's in the house. Hello to Brown Eye Trucker. Brown Eye, I saw your last video, girl, and it was really good. I was like, oh man, like you talked about the yard being empty. It was. Man, there wasn't much there to work on, was there? Let's see if we can get some more people in here. We'll give them a few minutes. I'm starting out a little bit early. I'm going to try and start a little bit earlier and see what happens. Whoops. As you can see, there's probably like a good 5-second delay by the time I talk and by the time it hits the internet. Brown Eye says that, yeah, now I ended up going home. Yeah, my hours have been cut a little bit too where I work, girl. Yeah, they're cutting us early, and I work in healthcare. Obviously, I'm a physical therapist, and they're kind of flexing and cutting back and stuff like that just because of how much, no elective surgeries, no one getting hurt because they're stuck at home, so there's no car crashes, no football game ankle sprains or anything like that. Like I said, there's no elective surgeries. What else? Oh, any of the doctors, a lot of them, if you're going there for aches and pains and stuff like that, you're not going to the doctor's telling you to stay home, so we're not seeing any of our census pick up, so they're cutting a lot of our hours. What do you guys think about this new view? I think I did more of a visual, like a downward view. That's kind of a cool, I thought. It looks kind of cool on camera, too. So I got this older video that I'm putting in. I'm going to see, like, I know Brown Eye Trucker talking about videos, and I took that a few Sundays, and I think that's great. And I'm going to continue to do that. But I also want to see if I could play an older video, and what I talked about in the knee then, and then talk about live, talking about the knee today. So I thought that would be kind of a cool idea. Thank you, Kimberly. Yeah, I try to do more of a view downwards. I still have a little shadowing going on. That's just because I got white walls. I think if I was, if at some point I set up in another room and I can get like black foam or brown foam or something that isn't very reflective and can kind of also take the sound and dense it a little bit, so I'm not getting any echo. Like I have a semi-vaulted ceiling that you can't see above me, and it makes my voice echo a little bit. So that's why I stay back in the corner here, because at least these walls kind of make my voice so it doesn't echo so bad. So let's talk about the knee a little bit. Knee is kind of strange, and when I did gross anatomy many moons ago, I always thought about what the heck is this kind of an odd shaped looking thing. If you take all the muscles and all the tendons and all the blood vessels and nerves off, and you're left with just the ligaments. This blue thing right here is your meniscus. There's two of those. We'll talk about those in a little bit. You have your quad tendon that comes down into the kneecap, and then you have from the end of the kneecap to the bottom here is the ligament. Hence, going from bone to bone is a ligament, and going from a muscle to a bone is the tendon. So that's kind of the differentiation between the two. You got the nice two little ligaments on the sides. You got your femur bone coming down, your thigh bone. You got your outside bone here called your fibula, and then you have your shin bone or your tibia. And so basically you just have three bones that make up the knee joint, and then you have this thing called a floating joint, which is your kneecap. All right, also known as what we call a sesamoid bone. Ooh, there's going back to anatomy. And that is basically the largest sesamoid bone in your body is your kneecap. And what's the kneecap? Does anybody know what the heck this kneecap even does? Anybody have an idea what the main function of the kneecap is? That could be a tough one for you guys. Hi, Nikki. Thanks for coming. Go ahead and give me some thumbs up. Hopefully we'll get some more people. I shouted out at my friends on Facebook, as well as I posted on YouTube, as well as I posted on Instagram. So you guys want to shout me out, that'd be great. You like the angle. It is okay, but I like the angle you had on your video better. It's more personal. Oh, okay. I never thought of it that way. It's funny how different people perceive different things. I would have never thought of it being less personal, but excuse me, I could see that. Yeah, I have Instagram. Go ahead, Brown Eye Trucker. Yeah, let me see. Let me see what I have it as. Here it is, Instagram. My Instagram account is basically Joseph Kenny, Kenny. You probably find me that way. Let's see. Yeah, it's under Joseph Kenny. It wouldn't let me go through Average Joe PT, but oh well, no one's perfect. Kim says, hold the tendons. That's what this is for. That's a good idea. Yeah, you seem further away. Well, I'm really not. All I did is I have an extension on my my one tripod, and all I did was raise it up and tilt it. There you go. I got you, Brown Eye. I just saw it pop through. There you are. Now following Brown Eye Trucker. All right, I got you, girl. All right, so Kim was close. It does do stuff with the. It does hold the tendon. The real main reason why we have a kneecap, and it's all about leverage. When you have to stretch something over the top of something else, you get more torque and more leverage that way. So it's kind of like, if you took that kneecap away and it was just a flat tendon across the top, you don't get as much leverage on the knee on this side if you take that kneecap away. And they do take, with people who have problems with their kneecap, they do take the kneecap out. I have seen people without a kneecap. And they can go around just fine and walk just fine. Obviously, their quad muscle, which is there's 4 muscles that make up your quad, hence the word quadriceps, Latin means 4. You have your vastus medialis, vastus lateralis, rectus femoris. Let's see. That was 3 of them, right? So rectus femoris, vastus medialis, vastus lateralis. There we go. That's the one. I missed the vastus lateralis. So there's 4 muscles that make up your quadriceps. And the thin one on top is called your rectus femoris. Essentially, all they do is extend your knee. You get a little bit of rotational pivoting movement at this actual joint, but it's not a lot. So that's really what that kneecap is for. It's really just a leverage or a lever arm. That's right. That's the main function of your kneecap or your patella. All right. So when you look at, like I said before, you look at the shape of these bones, they're not even shaped even close. I don't have another one, and I'm not taking this brand new beautiful thing apart. But just take it this way. Your tibia is basically on the end of it's a bunch of knuckles. As you can see on this side, it's 2 knuckles. And then the top of the tibia or the shin bone is basically, it's a semi-flat surface, or what we call the tibial plateau. Hence plateau meaning flat surface. Now you have these cartilage things called meniscus on top of it, and that's what a lot of people tear. You have a meniscal tear. And so really what those things, those cartilaginous tissue does is it allows your knuckle bones to move and stay in a good position with the flat part of your tibia. That's its main function. Now you can get a lot of things that happen to those meniscus over time, and that's kind of the classic thing is you'll get a meniscal tear. And let's see if I can find a tissue. Do I have a tissue? Ah, I brought one. Go guys, connect if you want. Hopefully we'll get some more people. Shout me out. It's a shame some of these people that don't give any instruction or educate is getting like 30 and 40 people. I guess I'll just have to keep trenching forwards like the rest of us. But anyway, so if we looked at the meniscus like a piece of tissue paper, and we kind of roll it up here, and we'll kind of give it a little bit of a shape here. So we'll say it kind of looks somewhat like this. They're kind of a half moon shape. They're both irregular shaped. They're not nice, smoothly shaped. And so if you know, what happens over time, they fray. You can get some fraying on the ends, which happens to a lot of cartilage, you know, as it wear and tear of the body. So you can get that, and that can cause inflammation. Or you can get actual meniscal tear. And what happens is the knuckles come and they catch on that thing and it tears, and you get instant inflammation and pain and swelling, and you can't do anything with the darn knee at all. I'm showing behind me here the old exercise of a straight leg raise. These are long straight leg raise lying down, and a long sitting straight leg raise. Those are good for your quadriceps muscles, those 4 muscles. All right, I should probably just do this. It's probably easier that way I can see what's going on. So what they end up doing now, it's different kinds of tears. All right, there's four or five different kinds. The bucket handle tear is the worst one. It's like a bucket handle, and just think of it this way, like you would on a bucket. The tear basically pulls off, and now you have maybe literally your knee is locked where you can't completely straighten it out because of the meniscus are caught between the bone and the plateau, or pinched in between, and literally your knee is stuck in that position. What they have to do with any of it, most times than not, they just basically they shave it off, just like that, and they smoothen it out best they can, and then that's what you're left with. Is it as good as it was before? No. People always think when you have a meniscectomy, it's called, like all of a sudden you're going to be fine like you were. Well, you'll be better, right? You're going to be like you were before you actually tore the thing. Maybe over time, but the reality is you've taken some of the meniscus and the shape of it, and you've thinned it out. So that's going to change over time, the stress on the knee joint, and it's going to require that your muscles are going to be that much strong, or they need to be that much stronger than they were before you injured yourself in the first place. And some people, that's a hard pill to swallow. And so that's the basic meniscal tear. Now, when you're younger, they might actually fix it. And when they fix it, you're going to be non-weight bearing for probably 6 to 8 weeks, depending on how long it takes to heal, because the meniscus, like all the tissue within the knee joint space, is actually nourished by synovial fluid. It has no blood flow within the joint space because blood eats up cartilage. And so all the cartilage, all the joints in our body, whether it's your knuckles or your wrist or your shoulder or your spine, in this case we're talking about your knee, it's all nourished by synovial fluid. It's not nourished by blood flow because blood destroys cartilage. See, I had this graphic long time ago. Ralph's Trucker is in the house. Hello, Mr. Ralph Trucker. Hopefully you're doing all right. Hope you're feeling better. I saw one of your videos where you weren't feeling so good. Guys, get connected with Ralph's Trucker. He does lives. He also has another channel too where he does like scratch offs. I've seen one of those, but I haven't been back to see another one. But I know he's trying to do 2 channels. One's where he's in his truck and he's doing live streams. You know, and he gets a lot of people. He gets, you know, I've seen 30, 35, 40 people in some of his streams. So, you know, and he's, you know, you can get a lot of people. As well as, you know, he's starting to do that second channel too. Oh, he's in California. I was surprised. Yeah, I saw your gas station sign. I couldn't believe gas was still high there. Gas here in North Carolina, I think it's like $1.39 or something. I couldn't believe how high it still was in California. So, Ralph, you're not ever been into one of my live streams, I don't think, but I'm showing an older video of the knee that I did. One of my videos, this was probably 4 months ago when I first started. And then I'm going over my live stream today, any type of problems people have with their knees and stuff like that, to kind of discuss with that. You know, Scully and I, we love to talk to one another when we can. Ain't that right, Scully? California is always hot. I knew once they had Schwarzenegger in there, it was all over. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about the knee a little bit more. She asked about jumper's knee. Kim talked about what is jumper's knee. Well, jumper's knee is the same idea as runner's knee. What you have is basically the ligament and tendon junction area gets inflamed. You can get it in your elbow. Okay, they'll call it tennis elbow or golfer's elbow, depending on which part of the elbow we're talking about. Any long tendon in our body is prone to getting inflamed and getting a tendonitis, as well as the bursa that's underneath that tendon that allows that tendon to glide over that bone, all right, can get inflamed too and give you bursitis. They usually go hand in hand with one another. And so what happens is you can get that whole thing just swollen right up on you, hence it's from jumping and not probably landing correctly, or your hips and thighs aren't strong enough to take the impact, so they fail, and then then the tendons take on the brunt, and if they fail, then obviously you're getting a tear, or you're getting some sort of, if they fail, then you're talking about a fracture of the bone. So you can see there's a succession of failures, whether we start from the muscle, then that fails and it goes to the tendon. If that fails, then it goes to the bone, and then you can get a fracture. So there's kind of grades to failure when we talk about an injury. Gotta go fix me a shot. My shoulder hurts again. Oh, man. Oh, yeah. Well, California's got 5 seasons. It's the only state in the entire nation that has 5 seasons. Everybody else has 4. The 5th season is fire season. That's right. California's got a brand new season. Nowhere else on the planet does. It's fire season. So while she's getting her a shot, we're going to talk about the knee a little bit more. And like I said, so you can get some weird things that happens to the knee joint over time. And we're talking like decades. If you're dealing with any type of arthritis within the knee joint, and what the heck is arthritis really? There's multiple kinds. We're going to talk about the osteoarthritis, or OA. That's where it's the natural wearing of the cartilage. In this case, it's the knuckle part or the plateau part, where the meniscus, those little moon-shaped things, they're blue on this model. They kind of thin out over time. They lose their concave because they are concave, and the knuckle kind of sits inside the knuckle of your tibia bone, your femur bone, of your femur bone. And so they thin out, and now you're dealing with a lot of stresses because instead of it being a cup, that knuckle, now it's on more of a flat surface, and it can move around a lot more since there's nothing holding it in place. And so that wears on that cartilage. It takes a lot more stress, and it thins out. And so that's called hyaline cartilage. Yes, there's multiple kinds of cartilage, and that one's called hyaline cartilage. And what happens is after a while it thins out, and then it can become inflamed, and it actually, if it gets too bad, you can actually get like pitting, or like how Ralph is going down the road and hitting potholes. That's kind of like what happens in the knee joint. You get kind of these concave or pothole areas, and it causes a lot of pain. So what they'll do sometimes, they do now, is they'll do these different injections in some people, not steroid injections. There's a couple of them out there. The one I can think off the top of my head is called Synvisc. And basically, they do an injection that kind of coats and fills in those crevices and takes a lot of the pain away. Oh, Kim's wondering, oh boy, I was backward. Kim, she's wondering if it'll go away. Yes, it can go away. 1, if you stop doing the activity, and 1, you can reduce the inflammation. So do you guys know what you do if you have elbow pain for a while? Do you know there's what type of treatment? Oh yes, I did a video way back when. It never did good. I think I got like 8 or 10 views on that. even to this day. I should bring it back. It actually wasn't a bad video. I went over taping techniques, stretching techniques, positioning techniques for it, and it's called epicondylitis, which essentially is inflammation of the tendons of your elbow. And I showed a strap. It's called a counter strain strap. And essentially what it does is it displaces the weight or pressure off the tendons and moves it away so it can take some of the inflammation off the tendons. It's the same idea what you're going to do here in the knee. They have literally a strap that goes across the bottom of your leg, and there's a little pad, and it kind of takes and pushes the weight away from this structure and displaces that pressure so that it's not on one spot, and it can reduce some of your symptoms. You might do some taping techniques to unload that. You might obviously do some ice. You might do some anti-inflammatories, depending on what your physician wants to do. Since we're physical therapists, we're not allowed to prescribe medication, only prescribe exercises and modalities. But that's one good thing, and definitely some of these exercises I'm showing in this old video later on can definitely help you with jumper's knee, or patellar tendonitis is probably the more layman's term versus jumper knee or runner's knee. Three Souls Paranormals in the house. Thank you so much for coming to my live. Woo! All right, nice. Thumbs up or thumbs down, whatever you'd like to do. I'd love to have a thumbs up, but if not, oh well. Go ahead and connect. Hopefully we'll get some more people in here. If you could give me a share or a shout out. I've shout out to Facebook. I've shout out to Instagram. So those are the two platforms that I do right now, as well as obviously Facebook. I shouted out there too. All right, there, as you age, and like I talked about, there's some weird things that can happen. You could actually have your whole tibia here over time can actually start to bow. Okay, we call that bow-leggedness. Or you can have knock-kneed, where your knee actually caves inwards over time because of weak hips and the ligaments and the tendons start to stretch out over time. And you walking or moving to avoid pain. Over time, you're stressing that bone so much, you're actually causing it to bend over time. Excuse me. And so, you can have a real problem with that. A lot of times at that point, what they'll do is probably do a knee replacement, and they will fix that bow at the same time that they do that knee replacement. I've seen a few of those in the last year or so, and they do quite well. Are they as easy as a regular total knee replacement? No. They do take a little bit longer because you are changing the entire structure of the tibia and how it moves on the knee from what it had been accustomed to over probably decades. So we got Three Souls Paranormal, Rooster's Comb. What's Rooster's Comb? Oh yeah, I love that Three Souls Paranormal. I watched some of their stuff. I think I watched one the other day. They were in an old house. I don't think I commented on it. I watched it, but they were in a. It looked like an old house. They came it dark and spooky. See, I thought back then people were going to sit and watch popcorn and soda. So, here's one taping technique I showed. If you want to see that old video, that'll kind of give you some idea what I'm talking about. Excuse me, that taping technique, I used Leuco tape, which I have on a couple of my newer videos, a comment. That you can click on, or hyperlink, I should say, not a comment, a hyperlink. And Leuco tape, the white cover roll tape, I use that for a lot of different techniques to unload and reduce pain with techniques at home. You can get a decent roll for that at Amazon when Amazon's selling this stuff, probably $8 or $10. And so it's always good to have that. I haven't shown that for back, which I probably need to, whether it's your upper back or lower back. You would need someone else there to tape it for you. You can't do that yourself. That's the only problem. That's probably one reason why I haven't done it. But that actually works quite well. Oh, Synvis injections is made from rooster's comb. Okay, okay. You got me on that one. I didn't know. Yeah, I know there's also, oh, geez, this was probably at least 15 years ago. What's this stuff called? Glucosamine and Chondroitin, or Chondroitin and Glucosamine. That was like 2 supplements people talked about that was supposed to help improve cartilage and all this other nonsense. And, it was like, you'd read the research and literally it was 50-50. 50% of the research says they got better and 50% of the research says they didn't. And then if you actually read and looked at the detail of how the research was made, most of the research was garbage. If we break down how the research study was performed, you'd see a lot of biasness and variables that weren't taken into consideration and stuff like that. So it really does cut down the quality of the research study itself. Got 5 watching. 5 in the house. Need more. I'm glad you all came. All right. So we got 2 main ligaments on the side. Okay. We got one on the inside and we got one on the outside. This is called the lateral collateral ligament, or LCL. And you have the MCL, or the medial collateral ligament. All right. Those are 2 ligaments. You have 2 ligaments inside the knee called the anterior cruciate ligament and the posterior cruciate ligament, or known as your ACL and your PCL. If anybody knows anything about sports, football, baseball, basketball, they've heard those terms before when kids tear or adults tear those ligaments. And so there are a couple things that happen usually when you tear those ligaments. Now, they call them cruciate, which means they cross. In reality, those 2 ligaments actually don't cross. If you look from a back view or a front view, they look like they do cross. But when you see an aerial view, they actually don't cross each other. So, what can you say? When they named it 200, 300 years ago or whatever it was, they weren't right. Anyways, they kept it anyways, but those actually, they don't cross each other. And so the anterior cruciate ligament keeps the knee from sliding forwards, and the posterior back one keeps the knee from going backwards. And so what happens is that ligament gets torn because someone hits them from the back and throws them forwards, or they cause a twisting motion and the muscles fail to support the knee enough. The tendons fail, then the ligaments end up taking the stress, and the ligaments fail. You can have what's called a happy triad. It's not really happy, but that's what they call it. Meaning, triad means 3, means that the meniscus gets torn, the medial meniscus, the inside front one, the medial collateral ligament, and the ACL gets torn, and they get torn at the same time. Call it a blowout, might as well, but that's what happens. Usually you don't want to see that, and you see it in football events probably the most, or maybe something trauma like a car accident. Oh, here's another one, a car accident. You don't normally see the posterior cruciate ligament get torn, but it can, especially if you're in a car and your shin gets blocked from the dashboard and your leg goes backwards, or this part of your tibia goes backwards, and that's how you can rupture your PCL, or your posterior cruciate ligament, as well as probably a lot of other things gets damaged at the exact same time. So that's the 3 main ligaments that get blown up there, and that's never a good thing. You're going to be in surgery, and you're going to be in therapy for quite a while. Oh, Kim says you have to look at all the variables. That's absolutely true. Got 4 in the house. Slow Wednesday night. I think there's so many people doing lives now that people are just sick of doing. People are sick of sitting around doing lives. They get burned out sitting in the live chat. So I'm hoping that some education will help some people to stimulate them to come to my channel. Hard to tell. All right, so another thing you have is you have these huge four muscles behind your leg. Start up at your butt. So they start, let's take Big Bertha off here for a second. Come on off of there. This thing's kind of tippy on me every once in a while. She gets tippy. So if we took your leg and cut half of the length off, it would be something like this. Obviously, your femur bone would be much longer. It would be done like this. But needless to say, this is kind of like the gist of it. So you have your quad muscles attaching, some attached at the hip, up here at the pelvis, and come all the way down below the knee. So they're very long muscles. And so they can get injured. Where was I going with this? Oh, yeah, the backside. Come on, guys, you got to keep me on point. So if you look at the backside, those hamstring muscles I was getting to, they attach way up here at the pelvis at the what we call the ischial tuberosity. These are the bones you sit on. They run all the way up here and run all the way down. And they attach all over the place on the back side and on the front side. You have the biceps femoris versus not the biceps brachii, which is in your arm. The biceps femoris muscles on the outside and the semitendinosus and the semimembranosus muscles on the inside, crossing the knee joint to flex your knee. And then those buggers can get inflamed too, especially on the inside. People can have a lot of inside pain with those stupid little tendons, especially that semitendinosus. And I'll tell you about that in a second. Don't let me forget. So those hamstring muscles, actually some of it attaches at the meniscus. So on the backside, so as you flex your knee, that meniscus on that plateau of the tibia is actually moving. It actually glides a little bit. It's not stuck there. So as you get some movement here, those meniscus are also moving too. And so your hamstrings have a partial connection to them on the backside. That helps stabilize everything also. It's like crickets in here. Either you guys are listening to me, you're sleeping, or you're just eating some cereal. Nope, Kim's the last thing. No one's talking. Ralph probably left. Poor Ralph, he's all the way out in California. And I think he lives over here on the East Coast somewhere. That's a long ride, man. That's got to be, what, 22, 23 hours, something like that, to go from here all the way to California to drive out there? I don't know. He could probably tell us exactly how long it takes, but that's got to be something like that. Do you know, Brown-Eyed, how long it would take to go from East Coast to California? It's got to be 22, 23 hours. I missed your message. Oh, I probably did. What did I miss? Oh, it's probably under Snapchat. Oh, okay. Do you mind if I talk about this, Brown-Eyed? So I'm reading Brown-Eyed Trucker's thing. I did hear this from someone else. And I know I'm a subscriber and I watch of For Change or something like that he's called. I was watching him the day he got hacked. All right, let me get back to YouTube. All right. Oops, let me get to all the way to the end here. Oh, no. So, Brown-Eye, I'm going to tell him, okay? I got your message. All right, so Brown-Eye is basically saying, like, there's there's this person out there that can hack your account and delete your stuff. So there's plenty of trolls out there. You know, they're always stealing people's, or trying to steal their stuff. Basically what they can do is they can underscore or hashtag before or after your name. And so YouTube is not smart enough to recognize that that someone's basically trying to copy you, your icon and everything else. They can go ahead and try and copy my ugly mug. It'll probably break. But that's what they're doing. They're underscoring or dashing or something like that so it looks inconspicuous. And they think that people are clicking on, they think it's you, so people are clicking onto them. They're stealing people that way, as well as they're hacking people's accounts. So what you have to do is you have to do the two-step. When you go into Google Chrome, make sure you have your password is not a simple password. Make sure you have an numeric, excuse me, as well as some sort of icon or symbol, upper and lowercase. Make your password strong, okay, as well as make it two-step. The fact that you have to either email you or your phone, text, or something like that. Make sure you do the two-step, and it will make it almost impossible for them to hack you when you do the two-step to confirm it. But she was saying, yeah, you know, talked about taking away the hearts, removing away the likes and the messages. Apparently started controlling the guy's page. So yeah, he didn't have his one, he didn't have his password strong enough, and two, he didn't do the two-step where you have to be notified through your email or text before you can go ahead and get into your account. Oh yeah. I know that back in the day where I played World of Warcraft, and this is where because I'm a big gamer. I love gamers, but since I've done YouTube, I don't really do gaming much anymore. But people would come in. I mean, you'd work hours on getting your character up to a certain level, and at one point you could sell your character and actually make some decent money. So that's what they were doing. They were stealing people's accounts that had, like, they were at the top level. I mean, you could sell your account for $150 to $200, and that's, you know, you do it on PayPal or something like that, and you could make a lot of money that way. That's how people were doing it. Well, people were stealing people's accounts until Blizzard got on that two-step account system. And so, I mean, all the gamer systems do that nowadays, as well as, I mean, you should do that. Everybody should be doing that, because this stuff takes a long time, man. There's a lot of work that goes into making these videos for everybody. A lot of time, a lot of love. I mean, if you're trying to get monetized, next thing you know, you've lost a lot of viewing hours. I know that 4Game Cash, or whatever he's called, he lost over, I don't know how much, but I know it was close to 1,000 view hours that he can't get back.'s going to have to try and get those. And I think his monetized channel, I know he was going with YouTube, and so maybe they'll give him an extension, at least they should, to try and get his hours instead of cutting him off. I know it's a rolling 12-month thing also, so. Brown Eye says, yeah, I like watching people game. I joined Twitch so I can watch gamers. Yeah. Yep. I get a bunch of subscribers that are gamers. I was trying to get on them for like neck pain and back pain because they sit and they look awkward positions a lot. Wrist and elbow and hand pain and stuff like that. They don't really watch my stuff. That's okay. Anyways, that's all that right now. So yeah, it's very easy. Make sure you go into Google Chrome and do that for yourself. And also Google Chrome also has that extra attachment that you can do. So since we can't hyperlink anymore, you know, on the mobile phone, but you can on your desktop or laptop. You can go ahead and do the Google Chrome add-on extension. There's a couple videos on it. I think Sunshine's even got one on it too now. And you can go ahead and do that where you click into it. It's got like a little cowboy hat guy's icon, and you can go ahead and everybody's name will be a color. Mine are all green. I set up for it, so you can click on the name and it'll pull you into their channel. It pulls up a new tab and opens up the channels of theirs without losing the current channel you're on. But it only works for desktops or laptops. It doesn't work on mobile devices. Anyways, all right, so let's talk. Anybody have any questions? I'm going to keep talking about the knee. All right, so there's this, a lot of times when someone comes in with knee pain that's kind of chronic in nature, I see the way they're walking. My one newer video probably like 4 or 5 weeks ago was on like kneeling and knee pain. I had that little B video where I was going around showing people how, how not to abuse your knee, and then how to, ways to improve your knee and knee symptoms. And so I had one part of the video where I was stepping up on a step. And a lot of people, when they step on a step, have a tendency to let their knee come inwards. You always should have your knee stay in line with your toe when you're stepping up on a step or stepping down or squatting. You never want your knee to go inwards towards the body. That's a lot of stress on the meniscus as well as the tendons that cross the knee joint, which is what I'm going to talk about now. You have the semitendinosus, the gracilis tendon, and the, what was it? Sartorius. Woo! Pulled that out of my head. Those are the 3 tendons that make up the pes inserine. All right? Pes inserine is Latin for goose foot. Essentially, those bozos a long time ago that probably didn't even know the earth was round, thought it was flat like some still idiots on the internet do, thought that those 3 tendons looked like a goose's foot. So that's what it's named by. But when you do a lot of rotational stress movements or inwards movement of the knee, you can inflame those tendons as well as the bursa and give yourself a bursitis right on the bottom part, medial side of the knee joint. And that's called pes inserine bursitis. Okay? And so what we do a bunch of taping techniques. You might do some icing, obviously. People always want to do these knee sleeves, but that isn't going to do anything. You really want to be mindful of when you're stepping down or squatting or whatever, that your knee stays in line with your toe all the time. That's a huge one that gets inflamed. I see a lot of people. And the taping technique for that is that Leuco tape that I showed earlier that just goes from the inside of the knee and you pull it up this way. Essentially what you're doing is taking those tendons and pulling them up with the tape and keeping them in a nice shortened position versus always being over elongated when you're doing that. So you want them to stay nice, short rested position so they can heal. Nothing likes to be overstretched or elongated because it continually stays inflamed and it doesn't get very good blood flow if something's always stretched out. You need to have things open and closed. Otherwise, the blood flow and stuff doesn't work its way in and out. Ooh, I'm having a slow night tonight, Brown Eye. Slow night, 5 or 6 the whole night. I think everybody's going to Gore's channel. Gore's doing, his live streams every night now. He's trying to get his 4,000 watch hours in 2 weeks, I think. He's letting it run like 5 to 6 hours at a time at he says his warehouse. He's got like this bookshelf there, and he's talking all day long, making the business happen. So he's going to get his watch hours quicker. Though I think he started YouTube way before I did. I think he started like probably 5 or 6 months before I did. I didn't start my YouTube channel until November, almost Thanksgiving. It was like November 22nd or 23rd was my first uplink on YouTube. And so I think he's probably, I don't know, you have to ask him, but I think he's got to be coming up the next month or two, maybe in the next couple months, where he's got to have his 4,000 watch hours. Otherwise, it's a rolling 12 months, and so of course, you figure when we start out, we ain't got a lot of watch hours anyway, so it really doesn't matter. It's more like if you can get 4,000 watch hours in probably 15 months, 14 months. Those first 2 months or whatever, you're just trying to get your feel and get the channel going, so you're not getting a lot of views anyways. So the reality is probably 3 or 4 months into starting, that's probably where you should probably start your view hours and go from that point anyways. So that's That's the way I'm looking at it. I started in November. I probably won't get monetized until probably, I don't know, January or February of 2021. I'm probably guessing around there, really depends on if my channel does better. My channel's been kind of, it goes up a little bit. I thought my one meditation anxiety one would do better since it's everybody's stressed with COVID and that whole bit, but it just hasn't. Though I'm getting like 32 and 33,000 impressions a month per YouTube, and my click-through rate is like 4-5%. I don't know. Oh, I got the hat makers in the house. Hat maker, I've seen you a lot. You're gonna become you're one of my, X-ray ladies here. X-ray lady is here. X-ray lady's in the house. Miss Hatmaker's asking for Brown Eye Trucker. Hey y'all. Got all my women in the house. Probably Ralph's not here anymore. He's the only guy, I think. Yeah, lots of laughs. That's what X-Ray lady's saying. So, Miss X-Ray could tell us all about the X-ray of this crazy thing called the knee joint, and how it's a really funny looking joint when you look at it, and it's amazing the thing doesn't get damaged more than it does. Oh, there's a tip I always tell everybody. I've probably said this a million times, probably I know at work, and I said it a few times on the channel. If you're overweight, that's right, I'm going to say the big word, obesity. Ooh, boy, scary word. If you are overweight, for every 1 pound you're overweight, there's 4 pounds of pressure on your knees. It's a 1-to-4 ratio. So let's say you're 10 pounds overweight, which really isn't much. I'm sure I'm 10 pounds overweight. 40 pounds of pressure on your knees, and that's how the cartilage gets worn down. If your muscles aren't strong enough to accommodate that weight, it'll wear on those joints and that meniscus and the cartilage, and mainly give you a tendonitis. You could start to get tendonitis when you try and stand up and sit down a lot. If you got that extra weight, putting a lot of pressure through those knee joints. So be mindful. It's a 1-to-4 ratio. 7 in the house. Might have some more. I know I have some of my view members don't have avatars, or whatever you want to call this little icon thing that we all have. And so they're not allowed, they're not in the live chat. So we do get a lot of people that aren't in the live chats because what was it, Sunday? Yeah, Sunday. Geez, week's flying by. Today's Wednesday. Sunday when I did my live, I think I ended up at the end of it like 97 people viewed it, and I think I'm at 100 and something right now. And so a lot of my people that watch my stuff just start in the live chat. So be mindful of that. You might actually get some people afterwards when they come back and watch my live. Afterwards, you might get some clicks from that. So I think that's happening a little bit too. And I'm sure that's across the board that happens. I know I get some people. And also be mindful. Look into your spam box and YouTube. You're back in your analytics. Make sure you look at your spam box, because a lot of these, for some reason, YouTube ends up putting those comments, if they weren't on your live and they watched it afterwards, it ends up going into your, at least for me, it goes into my spam box. So I'm scrolling through those and trying to figure those out and keeping that cleaned out. So make sure you're on the lookout for your spam box, that you're not missing some good subscribers just because of YouTube's antics. My doctor says you're overweight, and I look at her and I'm like, wait. How you gonna call me obese? You're overweight too. That's right, that happens a lot. Yeah, it used to be back in the day with smokers. A lot of doctors, when I first got out of school, back in the late 90s, people were still smoking around the hospital. They had a smoking area just for nurses and doctors, and you had a lot of them, boy, puffing away every day. And then you'd go and you'd hear them talk to their patients, talk about they should stop smoking. I used to love to hear that. Oh, that would tickle me to death. Yes, so it's the same way, you know, someone's telling you, the doctor, whether it's a MD or a PA, or a nurse practitioner, or even the physical therapist, you know, you got to practice what you preach, you know, as much as you possibly can. And I tell you one thing, I'm going to hit that gym hard, man, when they let me back. I normally am a psycho. I usually go, you know, 4:45 in the morning because, you know, the rest of the day with, you know, work and kids and YouTube and everything else, I try and do that in the morning, kind of get my day started out earlier like DJ, Dwayne Johnson does, The Rock. And I'll tell you, you want some inspiration, listen to that guy for 5 minutes. He'll show you how lazy you are. Uh-oh, I got here, Ernie Hatmaker says, Ed's doctor did that to him, and he was quite bigger than Ed. Yeah, it's silly sometimes with these people like that. Like, oh yeah, you need to lose weight. I'm like, wait, what about you? So, though I do get some, I get this. It can get contentious every once in a while when I'm in the clinic, and I'm sure I got some people in my chat that can contest to this. You know, when I get some people that are just like put off, you got to feel them out a little bit because they can get put off real quick by what you say or how you say it or how you frame it or your body position or your posturing or your reactions. And so I tell people, this is what you need to do to reduce your pain. And before I can say it, they'll say, I know, I need to lose weight. I'm like, that ain't what I'm saying. But I'm like, it wouldn't hurt. The reality is a lot of times, I know with my chronic back patients, if they can just get out and walk, it'll get them out of sitting so much, and that alone will reduce their pain. Not the fact that they're probably going to lose weight, but there's really no relationship between losing weight and back pain. There's relationship between static sitting and back pain, but there's really no relationship between you being obese and having back pain. But there's a ton of research on hip pain and hip replacements and knee replacements and overweight. In the hip, it's a 1-to-3 ratio. For every 1 pound you're overweight, it's 3 pounds of extra pressure on your hips. That's why your hips and knees wear out quicker than they should when you're overweight. Terry in the circle. Terry in the circle. Terry in the circle. Terry in the circle. Oh man, we got 8 in the house. Chop them up. Let's see what we got. Let's get you guys some moderators. I don't want you abusing it. Yep, moderator. I gotta get where is she at? Is Kim still here? Hopefully, Kim, you're still here. You're not a moderator. Ralph's not here. Ralph probably left. Hey, Ralph, you still here? Ralph, give me a holler if you're still here, brother. Well, that's fine, yeah. That way, if you want to drop your link once, just don't spam the thing. If you want to drop your link so you like a copy paste thing so you can, so people can click on your link. Just be mindful if they're not on a desktop or a laptop, it's going to pull them out of me, which is fine. Hopefully they come back, but be mindful they're going to go out of this particular stream, watch your video, and hopefully they like me enough they'll come back and watch some more content with me. Oh, you're welcome. Man, we're all trying to do the same thing. Not only are we trying to get subscribers, we're also trying to get what I call family members. Family members actually come and watch your video. Now, you're not going to watch every video. That's not realistic. And the more subscribers you have, the harder it is. But the realization is the ones that come to your live streams, the one that watch your videos or watch your content, you got to go and see their stuff every once in a blue moon. kind of show that love out there. There's just a plethora of people that don't watch no one's videos and expects everybody to watch theirs. That's crazy. Even these guys that have, you know, I'm going to give you a good one. And this goes for me. So there's these two guys. They're called Bob and Brad. They do physical therapy. They've been doing it on YouTube since YouTube created. They've been doing it for 10, 12 years, whatever how long. Two nice guys. I never met them. They're very knowledgeable. I've watched their stuff. They know what they're talking about. But they have like 1.8 million subscribers. So it's kind of like you got him and you got Dr. Joe, which is J-O. It's a woman. And she's been on YouTube for like, I don't know, 8, 9 years, something like that, doing some physical therapy stuff. If you watch some of their stuff, it's not the same as mine. I'm making more of a show. They're making more of an instructional video. Like they'll say, all right, if you have weak quad muscles, this is what you do. If you have some back pain, you know, do the stomach exercise. And they might show a clip for a second, and then that's it. Mine, as you'll see, if you watch my stuff, it's more of like an animated kind of show to it. So that's how I'm trying to shift instead of just being an instructional type videos, which is what this video was 3 months ago. But anyways, on to my statement. So they have 1.8 million subscribers. In 2 months, I look back 2 months because I'm just trying to figure out, you know, my niche and what can I expect. They have got, I think one of their videos is like, they got 26,000 views. And it's like 3 weeks old. They got a couple of them that are 8,000, 1,200, 10,000. That sounds like a lot of views, doesn't it? What do you guys think? Do you guys think that sounds like a lot of views? 26,000, 10,000 views. Excuse me, indigestion, 1,500 views. Hi, Beam to Henry. Hello. Oh, I got adds attention to the details in the house. Now I'm going to make you guys moderators so you can put your hyperlink down once if you want to. Change for $1. There he is. Change for $1. There's my brother. There's my brother. Brother from another mother. This is the man where these snot balls, if I could get a hold of them, I'd strangle them for you, where they stole some of his content and deleted some of his stuff. You could go onto his channel, watch some of his videos. The one I saw, man, I was like, no, don't quit, man, don't quit. That's exactly what they want. They want you to quit, those bastards. Don't let them get the best of you. You know what you do? You rub it in their freaking face is what you do, and you go on. And so, yeah, he had his some of it deleted as he was trying to save his content, and I know he could probably tell you more about it. But he was in contact with Facebook and stuff like that to try and get some of that content back. And so, you know, 2-step. Make sure you do 2-step when it comes to your password. Make that password ridiculously hard. Capital letters, lowercase letters, symbols, and numbers. No one's name. Don't make it a freaking name. All right? And then the second one would be, the second stage is either your password. Second stage is either your email address or that they text you. That way it's a 2-stage before you can, it's a 2-step system so that you can't get into it unless you go through both of those systems. I got 8 in the house. All right, so what I did with this live stream, because I'm bringing new stuff. People don't realize this. I'm bringing new stuff. I'm not doing the old stuff like everybody else is doing. I'm showing you new content of the knee, as well as an old video of mine at the same time, as well as some exercises. It's ridiculous how much content I'm bringing you all in one live stream. it's mind-boggling how much I'm bringing here. And you know what? It's all for free. That's right. It's all for free. All my $100 and some thousand school loan is all free for you guys. If I didn't laugh, I'd cry. Terry says, my right knee is shot. Give me some more detail, Terry. Maybe I can help you out. What about your right knee is shot? Have you had arthroscopic surgery, which means probably meniscal, either repair or meniscectomy? You might have cleaned out the cartilage a little bit. We'll let them talk a little bit more. Ooh, I got 10 in the house. Oh, man. I'm going now. 10 in the house. Woo. Hear that, Scully? We got 10. We got 10, Scully. We got 10. Oh, Brown Eye Trucker says, change for $1. You got Brown Eye Trucker. You're lucky there. Change for $1. I thought she was all mine, but boy, you're so lucky because she's going to come and watch your stuff. You definitely have someone that's going to come and see your stuff. You're not going to have one of those people that just subscribes and you never freaking see him again. So you don't get any viewer hours. You don't get any money for advertisement. Subscriber is nothing if they don't come and see your content. It's all about viewership. That's what we should start calling this. Forget subscriber. We should call it viewership. I think I coined a new phrase, people. You heard it here today. It's all about viewership. Oh, man. I'm telling you. Oh, Majestic Family's in the house. I'm making you all moderator. Don't abuse me. Don't do it. And so that way, if you want to put down a hyperlink so they can see your channel, you can. Just don't spam it, please. No one wants to see that. We're all content creators. We all want viewerships. That's what it's all about. From now on there, Brown Eye Trucker and X-Ray Lady, viewership. You hear that, Scully? From now on, he's going to say viewership this Saturday. This Saturday's video, we're going to talk about the knee in a little bit more detail. I think I'm actually going to go into probably meniscus. I think the gist of my video on Saturday will be about meniscal tears, meniscal repairs, why do it, why not do it, the positives and the negatives of it, and what you can expect if you don't get one versus if you do get a surgery. That's kind of a good idea. Okay, Terry says, I have had knee issues since my teens. Oh my Lord. And I am much, much older. No surgery. Used to weigh close to 300 pounds. There you go. I said it. 300 pounds. How tall are you? How tall are you, Terry? Oh, hi, Average Joe Darling. Oh, boy. Hello, Miss Stewart. I'm going to put you as a moderator so that you, if you want to and you need to, if people want you to, you can put your link in once and they can always scroll back up through and click on it. So, greetings, everybody. That's right. Live long and prosper. So, all right. So that's right. So I talked about that 1-to-4 ratio where over the years you can wear that knee joint out just through the overall compression and the constant wearing and the standing and pivoting motions of that knee over time. The cartilage just can't take it anymore. Kind of like Twisted Sister. We're not going to take it. We're not going to take... Oh, wait. That's a copyright. I better shut up. God forbid. They're probably going to want... Oh, wait. I'm not monetized. They can't get no money out of me. I was told in '97 I need both knees replaced, but thank God I'm still here and to tell the tale. I'm 5'6" and I do not weigh 300 pounds no more. All right, good for you. That's awesome. You probably saved... That's the reason why you probably are able to go longer, because you don't weigh as much as you used to. But it's only been, when we talk about like the knee replacement video I did, I got to make a new one. That knee replacement video I did like the second week or maybe the third week of me doing YouTube. Obviously, you know, just like everybody else's first videos, they were garbage. The content is right. It's just how it was presented wasn't obviously not even close to what it should be. At least not even by my standards today, and probably hopefully my standards 6 months from now will be a lot better than they are currently. But yes, knee replacements probably over the last really recent, maybe 5-6 years at the most, probably 5. I wouldn't even go more than 5 years. If you were pre-2015 and had to have a knee replacement, and you weren't probably at least late 50s, early 60s, they probably told you, no, you're too young. Because the hardware back then did not last no more than probably 10 years, and they were having to do revisions on these knees. And when you have to do a revision on a knee replacement, they don't do as well, and the surgery can be a lot more complicated. Now, since 2015, 16, and today, you're seeing knee replacements done people in mid-40s, early 40s, like my age. And so that's because the hardware is much better, the surgery is a lot less invasive, and you can go a lot longer. You're talking 20, 25 years before you need the knee done again. And that's not even talking about what type of medicine we're going to have 25 years from now. I mean, that's like, you could be talking like crazy stem cell. You could be talking like nanotechnology. I mean, there's a lot of crazy things that can happen in medicine 25 years. Just look at where we are today compared to if we said this 25 years ago. Oh yeah, I'm going to be on live with models. I'm going to have my own live stream as well as on my phone. I'm going to have a talking watch. I'm going to have a Dick Tracy watch. They would have said I was nuts. Oh yeah, we're going to have cars drive themselves. Oh, okay, sure. Yeah, what have you been smoking? 25 years ago, we would have never thought that. And so 25 years from now, who knows what we're going to have. We're probably going to have drones all over the place dropping packages and God only knows what else. Well, definitely we're going to have autonomous cars if you want one. Viewership by Average Joe. You got it, girl. It's all about the viewership. It's not about subscribers. It's not about the view count. It's all about the viewership. You know, and my boy G Kicks, he does like the sneaker stuff. He's always in his car. He's here in North Carolina somewhere. He's in his car, stick and stay. Or Cub says that. She says it a lot, stick and stay. And I'm like, stick and stay all you want. Subscriber don't mean squat. It's all about viewership. Ed's attention to detail says, thank you, Brown Eye Trucker. We will see you soon. Yes. Definitely got yourself a good one, folks. So I'm showing here right in this video talking about hip strength and how that relates to your knee. So let me stand here for a second. Hey, that's pretty good, me and standing. I don't look too bad. Look at that. I'm still kind of slim a little bit, even though I haven't been to the gym in 5 weeks. So when we talk about the hip muscles on the side, they're what control your knee in space. And so if you're squatting down and your knee tends to dive in, that's coming from your hip. Your hip is what keeps your knee in line with your toe. So it's very important that you have good glute hip muscles so that you can really control where your knee is in space and take a lot of stress off of the knee joint. No, they're clickable. I just clicked onto it. No, those links that with the underline, they're clickable. I just clicked and I just got thrown into who was it? Who would I click on? The Majestic Family. Yeah, they're clickable. I mean, so it does work. That's the only way it works at this point. Yeah, I mean they're not telling. I try to look in the little creative tutorials that the YouTube executives or workers or whatever you want to call them that they do, and I mean, we could take it as a grain of salt what they're trying to do. Obviously, they're trying to, I mean, if you want to be a crazy skeptic and say that they're trying to reduce as many people being monetized because if you reduce the live streams, it's going to make it harder to get the 4,000 hours to get monetized. And so a lot of people do the live stream so they can connect with people. And if you make it harder to connect with people, it's going to make it harder for them to get their 4,000 watch hours. And so they want people to be more content creators in regards to doing like shows or sketches, like what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to do like more of a sketch show at this point than anything else. But the reality is when I do a 9 or 10, 11 minute video, I'm probably getting 35, 40% at the most of my video. If I look at how it did after a 2 or 3 week period of time, that's what my viewership is at this point. And I get 100 to 150, somewhere around there. And the longer that it's on, because of the type of content I have, people will click on it for, if they're having a particular problem, they'll click on my particular video. But, after that 72-hour mark, when your video first comes up, they're already starting to bump that down unless it's getting a lot of views. And since we're not large content creators, we're not getting, so many thousands of people watching our videos. And that takes me back to my discussion that I said earlier with Bob and Brad, the two physical therapists. They think they're the most famous therapists on the internet. Of course, that's just because they've been around forever. Their opinions, because that's kind of like their cliche intro to their video. Anyways, like I said before, they have over 1.8 million subscribers. And I think if I looked at the last 2 months, I think one of their videos had 26,000 views. That's terrible. That's absolutely, it sounds like a lot, but it's terrible. If you have 1.8 million subscribers and you only had 26,000 views and that was one of your better videos, you're getting like 1,700, 2,000 views, that's not good. Your channel's dead. You're not doing well at all. I mean, if I had that many subscribers, you better be hoping that you're getting at least 100 to 200,000. You figure if 200,000 out of a million, that's only 20%. And they have 1.8 million. They almost have 2 million subscribers. Yeah, terrible. And I don't know what it is, whether it's just how they're doing it or how they're making it. Yeah, you're right there, Miss Stu. It's a lot of work, Average Joe, to get those hours. Boy, ain't that the truth, yeah. And they knew it, too. YouTube knew it. I don't know why, they might, my best guess is they got a lot of pushback from advertisers when they did this whole COPA thing. And they were seeing that the advertisers that were spending out this money really weren't getting anything back on their money for their advertisements, because people were, the kids were watching this stuff and they'd fall asleep and the video would run all night long. And so they were getting money in ads, constant money from these ads, and no one, it was only kids. So I think, they talk about safety and stuff like that, which is huge. Don't get me wrong, it's huge. But I think there might have been some blowback from advertisements spending money and saying, hey, we're not getting any money back. And so I think that trickled down to us. And in reality, that, all right, we're going to see who really wants to do YouTube. We're going to make 1,000 subscribers, and oh, wait, we're going to make it 4,000 watch hours. That's not easy. And I like how on the Google where they talk about, oh, yeah, it's not a lot of 4,000's not. All you got to do is, you divide that into 12 months and divide that. Yes. All of us know simple division. The reality is it's still 4,000 watch hours. We know how to say that, oh yes, if you had 4,000 subscribers and they all watched an hour of your content, there you go, but that's not the case. Yeah, oh yeah, it definitely does there, Ed. And it comes to, those larger channels. I mean, I said this last view. What the heck's his name? Oh, shoot. And he's fairly famous. Nick Nimmons. He does all those, he's got 4 or 5, almost 500,000 subscribers. Nick Nimmons. I watch his stuff. I've been on for a while. He does like the content, how to make a better YouTube channel and stuff like that. And if you look at his views, he's not, I mean, he's 20, 30%. So he's getting me 20,000, 30,000. So he's not getting like 100,000, 200,000, 300. He's not getting half of his subscribers watching his views. Watching his, his view count does not meet his subscriber count when it comes to his videos. And so, I like how YouTube says, oh yeah, the average of people watching videos is 50 to 60%. BS. No way it is. Because all these big channels, that wouldn't be the case. If that was the case, someone's got 500,000 subscribers, give that basic number, and it's 60%. All right? The reality is they better be watching at least 300,000 should be watching that view count every video if he's got 500,000 subscribers. And that's not happening. That's not happening across the board. So, I mean, I don't know everybody's channel, just the big ones that I'm subscribed to, and I'm seeing their view counts on their videos. And I know some of them are doing a lot more live streams than they used to do because they see how they can get more money from that, because they're not getting it from, I bet you they're not getting it from their sales on their products, whether they're selling a t-shirt or a cup or a tote bag or something like that. So, and it seems like all of them are trying to get TubeBuddy underneath their pocket. It seems like everybody's a TubeBuddy. And I'm not sure how much money TubeBuddy's giving out for I don't know, it's a sponsorship. Oh, yes. Well, we're lowing down. We got 7. We had 10 or 11 in the house at one point. Maybe they're going out to seeing the video and coming back in. Guys, let's connect. Oh, boy. Vivian Henry's just throwing out the elbows. I want to connect. Well, they'll connect with you if they want to connect with you. You want viewership. You don't want the subscriber number. They all know. They all know. They will watch your stuff if they want to. The same thing with me. I have, 1,300 subscribers or something like that at this point? I'm getting like some of mine did pretty good. I got one that's got almost 1,200 or something like that. But most of my videos are like 120, 170. I think I have a couple that are 200. So I'm getting like 20%, 18, 20% of my viewers are actually watching my stuff. So I'm not even though people that are watching my video are watching 30, 40%, my total number of subscribers that are watching mine is, if I'm lucky, is 20%, which is sad. That's what happens when you go to some of these live streams and you guys just connect, and you actually don't get a viewer. You get a subscriber. You don't want subscribers, you want viewers. Subscribers don't mean squat once you hit 1,000. Vivian, throw your link down as a hyperlink because Brown Eye can't find you. You have to copy, okay? Ed says he's in your family now, Brown Eye. Yeah, he came back. That's a connection. That's viewership. That's not a subscriber. That's viewership right there. You got someone that's going to stay there. They make the content. You're going to watch it. It might be every third one or something like that. They might even do a playlist together. Wouldn't that be nice? If you got, let's say, 8 or 9 hours, you can play it overnight on your computer or something like that. You get 9 hours just like that. Now, it usually takes a couple days for YouTube to kind of catch up. So, to get to those monetized hours. So, be mindful of that. It's not all about connection, too. You also want that viewership to watch your current content as well as watch your playlist. So, if you want to watch my playlist, okay, I'd love to have you do that. And if you want me to watch your playlist, I want you to leave a number 1 down below, and I will currently write down it on my paper. And I will be playing your guys' playlist while I sleep tonight. So if you want me to watch your playlist and you would watch mine, I want you to put a number down, a number 1 down in the comment section. Oh man. There we go. Now she's got it. Oh, you put the word subscribe. You can't put the word subscribe, Vivian. Oh, are you a noob? Come on, you can't put that word down there. I'm going to have to delete that. Oh, man. I can't believe you do such a thing. Oh, I didn't want to time you out. Oh, how do I fix that? Sorry, Vivian, I pushed the wrong button. No, how do I fix that? Use... No, I can't fix it. Sorry, Vivian. That's what happens when I push the wrong button. I got Ed says he's connected to Stewart's house now. Beautiful. Miss Hatmaker says I get about 10% watch mine the first day my video hits, then they sort of trickle in. I don't seem to get higher than 15% in the first week though. Yeah. I guess I mean, all I can say is what I've done over time. If you look at my old videos, it was like instructional, and then I went more towards Scully stuff, and then I've gone more towards a skit where I have the doctor know-it-all and the doctor cool cats, and I'm probably going to add one more kind of like skit to it. So as well as bringing the content, I'm bringing some silly wackiness at the same time. It's tough. Like I said, you know, the shorter video though, like if I do like a 6-minute video, that seems to be the sweet spot. I get like 50%, 50, 55%. But most of my videos are like 30, 40, 33, 35, 38%. Sometimes I get close to 40, but most of the times it's in the 30%. And apparently that's not good. I have no idea. I know if I look at the analytics and I look at other people's content with mine, I kind of go at, you know, there's that straight line that looks at where you are compared to your competitors in your same niche. I kind of flow in and out. Sometimes I'm better, sometimes I'm worse. A nice little bell curve that goes on. So I would say to you to kind of look in your analytics and see, you always get a drop off the first like 30 seconds to a minute. You're going to get the 100 to 70, and then it goes from, you know, for me, I get the first 2 minutes, I go like 70 to 50, and then like the 3 to 4 minutes is where it starts to drop off heavy to where I'm like 50 down into the, you know, 40 range, 38, 40 range. That 3-4 minute mark is where it starts to hit off for me, and then it kind of flattens out to be like 32, 33%. Watch the rest of my video. So I get huge viewership the first like 3.5 minutes, and I've been trying to do things like call of, what do they call it, call of something, where you put like your subscriber there, and I've thrown B-roll in there to see at that 3 minute mark, excuse me, to make the difference, and it hasn't yet. I just don't know if with my content, the type of material I'm doing, if that's just where it is right now, that 3 or 4 minute mark, I lose down to 30, 35, 33%, and it just kind of flattens from that part to the rest of the video. All right, Ed. He wants me to do his playlist, so I got Ed. I got Ed for playlist. Ed's attention to detail. I like that title. All right, so we got Ed. Ed says, Vivian, we're now family. So Vivian will come back, I hope. I hope I didn't get them mad. I pushed the wrong button, Vivian. Now it's just me being stupid. Oh, okay. Well, I'll get Ernie too. That was nice. Ernie's hat maker. I didn't know that. Or I maybe did and I have Alzheimer's and I forgot. I think I know someone, it might have been her that said that, oh yeah, I've been running you right along, haven't you noticed? And it's hard because it's usually a 2-day lag. We are en route. We are en route. Whoop, whoop, whoop. We are en route. Okay. Come on in. The water's warm. At least it was a couple days ago. All right, I'm going to be right back. I'm going to go get something more to drink. Stay. All right, folks, I had to go get something to eat. I'm starving here, folks. I'm starving. So stream's okay. Don't have. Hey, Lionel's here. Lionel's in the house. Eating a little pasta tonight. A little carbohydrate action. Nice. Hey, there's the man with the sound. Yeah. What kind of sound are you talking about, Lionel? Lionel's the bingo guy. He's all those balls, man. Ed says he's eating too. You know, that's what happens when you do your live streams on the East Coast. All right. Forgive me for smacking my food, but I'm trying to talk and eat at the same time. Obviously, you're not supposed to. Cause a choking hazard, but for you guys, my viewership, Lionel, you didn't hear it, but I came up with a new one. It's not subscribers. It's all about viewership. Okay, so we talked about the quads, the hamstrings. We talked about these three tendons down here that can give you some pain. The pes inserine, they're called, on the inside of the knee. We talked about why the hip muscles are so important for the knee, because they keep the knee in good alignment when you do a squat, or you're doing stairs or a curb or a ramp or something like those types of positions. Now there's this classic thing that we get all the time that I see when a physician doesn't know what's going on. Just the patient has knee pain, they're like, all right, just go to therapy. The diagnosis that we will get is called patellofemoral syndrome, or patellofemoral tracking, or maltracking, or malalignment tracking, or however you want to call it. So that's where the kneecap, as you bend and straighten the knee, doesn't glide properly, because the kneecap itself actually has grooves in it. It's not a flat surface. It's got grooves in it that kind of go with the grooves in your femur and your tibia bone. And so if you have some sort of tightness on the outside or some sort of weakness, going on, you might have what's called the lateral tilt of the patella. Okay? There's different types. You can have patella alta, okay, which is your kneecaps riding too high. You can have winking patella. You can have frog eye patella, so it kind of looks like winking is in, frog eyes is out kind of thing. So the kneecap is tilted in different directions. And so that can come from weakness, malalignment, tendons that are inflamed or tight. And so in therapy, and on a couple of my knee videos, I go over that, taping techniques, as well as some strengthening exercises like I showed you at the end of this video that I'm kind of replaying, that can help improve those particular issues. Ed says he's Central Time Zone, so he's, what's that, you're an hour behind me. So it's 6:05 for you guys. Just not if your sound was muffled. Didn't know what was happening. Oh. Yeah, I'm still trying to mess around with trying to play an old video with the sound on so you guys can hear that, as well as me actively doing a sound at the same time. I have to look into it further. I've just been so busy with everything else, I haven't had really the time to sit down and figure out whether that's a parameter on my OBS software program, or whether I'm getting some sort of interference from the computer or an outlet or something like that that's causing that sound distortion or that whining sound every once in a while. Now if I just play Ed says correct. Oh, that's probably he was talking about the time zone thing. Let me get another bite here for a second. All right. We talked about the happy triad, which isn't so happy. That's where you basically blow out the inside of your knee. The ACL, the medial collateral ligament, and the meniscus, they all get torn or ruptured. Usually it's because you got hit from the outside and your knee just kind of buckles and goes inwards. And usually your foot is planted when that happens. And so your ankle's solid and locked in place and your knee gives and there goes that knee. And it's going to be a real ugly recovery for that one. I've seen here lately a few people where they rupture the patella. The quad just, a ruptured quad just ping, comes right off. And then they have to go ahead and sew that sucker back on. Kind of put some hardware in there so it doesn't come back off. And then we spend weeks and weeks and weeks with your knee perfectly straight so that we don't disturb that surgical site and let it heal and scar down. And then we spend weeks and weeks and weeks trying to get your knee to flex again. So I've had a few of those lately. Years ago, I had a person that thought they were going to, I don't know why they did this, but they told me they were, instead of taking the steps, they went down the bank. I don't know, I think they were just kind of playing around with someone else. And they slipped and ruptured both of their patellas, their patellar tendons, at the exact same time. So they came into me in a wheelchair with their legs out like that. And I was like, oh my God. So I had a fun time with those people. They were a long time. And so, yeah, you can actually rupture both at the same time, too. Pretty crazy stuff. Thumbs up for Joe, please. Thank you, Brown Eye. Yes, I would love that. Hopefully Vivian came back in. Maybe she didn't. I was so... Yay, Vivian came back. Sorry, Vivian. I pushed the wrong button before. I timed you out for 300 seconds. My apologies. Quarters hair past the freckle. You better believe it, brother. I haven't heard that in a long time, but I've heard that phrase before. Ed says he's connected with Lionel. We're going to have some viewership. It's all about viewership, people. All right, so we talked about the ACL and the PCL and those little things where they call them cruciate ligaments. In reality, they don't cross each other, hence the word cruciate or cross. And so if you look down at an aerial view, they actually never really cross each other. They're more like that. They don't actually come over the top. But from a side view, they might look like they cross, or a front view, or a lateral view, they might look like they cross. But when you look over the top, they actually don't. But anyways, they kept the name, like I said. That's kind of cool. I didn't know that model had that. I picked up this model on Amazon. It's actually a really nice model, and has some good flexibility in it, so you can actually see the stuff. See that kneecap on the inside. So kudos to me. Years ago, a model like this probably would have been at least $70 or $80. I think I picked this up for like 22 bucks or something like that. I mean, the quality of this model and how they've come down in price is really remarkable. So really nice model. It kind of gives you guys a good idea what I'm talking about. So there's this other huge ligament that people think they can stretch, but you really can't. You can't stretch a ligament. It's called your iliotibial band, your IT band for short. You can kind of get some tissue massage working in there, So you're really not stretching that band. You can stretch the muscles above that attached to the band, but what I'm saying is that band runs all the way from the side of your hip, runs all the way down and crosses your knee joint and attaches to your fibula. And so that thing can get really inflamed, and people think it's the ligament, and actually it's that stupid iliotibial band or the hamstrings on the outside. These two muscles on the outside are called your biceps femoris. I said that earlier, and they attach down in that area, and so they give you some lateral support as well as help flex your knee, help bend your knee in this direction, which this is a brand new, and I'm not going to stretch out the ligaments in it, but X-ray lady could not find your house. Yes, Ed's attention to detail. She is just a watcher. She doesn't have any content. She might subscribe to you, but she does not have a channel per se. She is a real person. It's not a fake dummy account. So she might subscribe to you, or she might not. I don't know, but I know she does not currently have any content on YouTube. And there's a few of my subscribers that are like that. Ed's attention. I'll get you back before I go multitasking right now. Lots of laughs. Lionel. So Lionel's going to get back to you, Ed. He's just doing 10 things like I am. Trying to do a YouTube live stream, eat, and discuss the knee at the same time, and look at my phone. Yes, that's called multitasking for sure. Oh, you're welcome, Ed. Sometimes it's hard in the live streams to read through things. All right. So, what else can we talk about with this crazy knee? Oh, let's talk about a knee replacement for a second. So when they do a knee replacement, there's a couple of different kinds they can do. They can do a partial knee replacement, they can do a full knee replacement, or they can do what's called a unicondylar replacement. And so what they do is they cut the end, shave the end of this piece off, the knuckle piece. They'll put a plate on that. They will take the meniscus out and the ligaments. You don't need them no more. No more ACL and PCL. You have hardware for that holds that in place. You'll have a polyethylene plastic piece between your femur and your tibia, and then you'll have a plate on the bottom here, or the plateau where your tibia is. So you have two main hardware above and below where the polyethylene is. And there's a doctor that I know of, and he works out of Duke right now, but he does the surgeries. I went to his little course last summer. He did a nice little evening dinner thing where he actually has, I think it was Dupree, somewhere. I think it might have been Dupree. Oh, was it Dupree? I think it was. Anyways, they're the company that was doing the knee replacements, the hardware company. And he actually has a robot. Essentially, he programs it all the night before, and during the surgery, it does the whole thing, and he's just monitoring what that thing is doing the whole time. So his knee surgeries are even a lot more minimally invasive, less cutting you have to do, the less healing time, the less possibilities for a blood clot, the less possibilities for an infection, the less time that you're in the hospital catching something else. And so if you guys ever need a knee replacement, make sure you can maybe find someone that does the robot. I think his was the Da Vinci. They have the Leonardo. There's a couple companies out there that's the same exact same exact thing. They just call it a couple different names. Lionel says, my mom had her left knee and shin bone done in the spelling procedure. With the procedure? Okay. Oh, with the robot, with the Da Vinci or the other one? Is that what you're saying, Lionel? They actually did the robot one? I got 11 in the house right now. Thank you all. Peace and love. Scully and I are loving you. The doohickey. That's awesome, Lionel. So she had this computerized knee replacement, and that's what Lionel's saying her mom did. His mom did. And so, excuse me, you can, and I remember the doctor telling me, yeah, I mean, it literally stops you from being able to damage any nerves, any blood vessels, and so a lot less nerve damage is being done to these knee replacements with that robot versus, you know, if you ever seen a knee replacement, you can go on YouTube or whatever. I mean, they rip that sucker right on open and they get right in there, and that was their old style of doing things, and realizing the outcomes are much better. Essentially what they want to be able to do is they want to make knee replacements ambulatory surgery, which means you come in and you go home the same day. That's what they're going to want to, at some point, make knee replacements, and probably most replacements if they can. You go in and you go home the same day. That way you're not in the hospital at all, getting an infection. Your overall cost for the procedure is a lot less because you don't have a hospital stay. Is it just me, or does Scully look like he has just fallen to pieces? Yeah, poor Scully. My little Scully here, man. Yeah, you talking? You gonna talk tonight? No. You ain't gonna talk right now. Hello, you in there? He gets mad when I do that on camera. But oh yes, me and Scully. It's a love made in hell. Or heaven. Or limbo. Or any other environment. So I got 10 in the house right now. Do you guys have any questions about the knee right now? Bye, X-Ray Lady. Thanks for coming. All right, so sometimes they actually also replace the undersurface of the kneecap when they do the knee replacement too. And sometimes they don't. When they do a total knee replacement, they do. But if they do a partial knee replacement, or if they just do a unicondylar replacement, unicondylar means that they're just replacing the surface of these condyles. Unicondylar means single stop, one side. So they don't replace everything. They just replace part of it, which means the surgery is even less invasive, and your recovery time is that much quicker. They're realizing if something's still healthy, leave it alone. That's the kind of same idea with disc or anything else, or meniscus. If it's healthy and it's not damaged, leave it alone. That is cool, little office area. I have my model building workbench upstairs, kind of like that. Yeah, yeah. At some point, I want to get a little bit bigger spot, but I haven't decided how I want to do it yet. I'm sure when I do it, I'm gonna have to get the okay from the boss and make sure that it's okay. But I'm sure at some point I'm going to. I have some ideas out there that I'm thinking about doing this summer, since in North Carolina it can get pretty hot, and so I want to make up something I can do that maybe I can take down and put up, maybe like a backdrop that I can do with a piece of plywood or plyboard and have something on it, and I can slide it into place and have that as my backdrop. So I'm thinking of a few things. I just have to implement it. If I remember correctly, Russian surgeons Lateral created this procedure with a bicycle rim and spokes to secure and straighten the bones as opposed to plaster. Now I think I know what the picture in the top right hand corner is doing. That is pretty clever. I'm going to try that too. Oh yeah, that's my logo. That's my logo, Brown Eye. That's me like this. All I did is I did a silhouette, and I took it and drew it out, and I put a bunch of people exercising, cartoon characters, bench pressing, doing dumbbells and stuff, and I laid that over the top of my template, and then I did like a green aura in the background, and then I took a photo of it. So yeah, that's my template. That's what's on all my shirts too, is that logo that you see up in that top hand corner. Lionel says, kind of like a halo with a broken neck. Yeah, that's true. Yep. Kind of like, yeah. Yeah, you don't want to get a broken neck. Yeah, that'd be terrible. But yeah, those external fixators, or halos, they call them. Yep. The blue light is cool behind your desk. Thank you. Yes. I put some ambiance. Now, I'm going to put some, I'm torn with how much ambience I should put into it because of the type of content I make. You know, I'm not, you know, this isn't smooth, jazzy night, you know, type of ambiance. So I got to kind of play off what is too much and what's not enough. So I did the blue little strip, but I'm thinking I had this probably maybe midsummer, something like that, trying to figure out how I can set up more of a what will be semi-permanent for my videos and my live streams and stuff like that. But Ed, I'm glad you noticed. Oh yeah. Definitely the strobing disco ball would be perfect. She had halo. She had an external fixator is what she had, Lionel. And she had multiple fractures or something. That's not for a knee replacement. They do an external fixator, and then as the swelling comes down, they'll take that external fixator out, put them back into surgery to do an open reduction internal fixator, or ORIF for short. They can't do it a lot initially because a lot of swelling and inflammation. You have to wait for that to come down a little bit. Oh no, this isn't StreamYard. This is OBS. No, StreamYard, for me to do something like this would cost me, I don't know, $25-30 a month or something like that. No, this is OBS. This is free. You just have to be able to have enough internet speed and have the camera and know how to use the program, and then you're good to go. No, I just put it up in the corner so it wouldn't obscure everything else that was around me. And I got my other, thing playing live on the side. Oh, okay. You're talking about to straighten for the bowing of the tibia. I've seen that in the books. I know what you're talking about now, Lionel. I've never personally treated anybody like that for that particular procedure. I mean, I've treated people with open external fixators and hardwares and halos before. I've done that, but I haven't seen it. I've seen them do plenty of knee replacements, and they fix the bowing of the tibia at that point. Eating dinner at 7:30 at night is not a good idea. This is going to be a lot of fat. I'm not going to burn off all this carbohydrates. I do have water, though. Lionel says he isn't Russian. I don't know with that beard, Lionel. You might look a little Russian to me. Bye, Brown Eye. Thanks for coming. Hat Maker says she drools like crazy. Yeah, well, I'll end up having probably indigestion. Probably have to have some Pepto-Bismol because that's got some tomato sauce on it. And if I eat tomato sauces late at night, it's a nice hereditary thing that I got from my wonderful mother and her mother and so on and so forth and that and the other thing. One of the many wonderful things I got. David! David's in the house. David's in the house. Hey, David, how is California? I didn't know you lived out there until I saw that last video of yours. David lives in California where the palm trees and the 5 seasons. That's right. I talked about it earlier, David. You're in a state that has 5 seasons. It's the only place in the world. The 5th season is fire season. That's what you guys have because every year I look on the TV set and your whole state's on fire. So I figured it must be a normal season. Yeah, there for a while, for what was it, 10 years, you guys didn't have any water. And I'm like, aren't you where the ocean is? How could you not have any water for your food? And then I said, oh, that's right, all that salt in the water. I don't know how. Oh, maybe electrolysis. Oh, they could get the salt out of the water. Yes, it would cost more, but you wouldn't pump all the water out of your ground. Still in a drought. Tell them they have a whole ocean. And they just have to change that salt water to fresh water. Hey, Lionel says I got you back. Hey, Dave, did they ever talk about that that nuclear thing that went in Japan? And they had all that fallout, and all that radiated water was supposed to come to California. Did you guys ever get any of that radiated water from Japan? Dave says he hasn't heard anything. Oh, we got Vivian asking for the Stewarts to connect. I got 4 in the house. We're drying up. That's all right. I'm probably going to finish this live stream at 7:30. So we got 2 minutes. 2 minutes, and then we're going to probably call it. Probably more like a lot of 3-headed. You better believe it there, Lionel. A lot of 3-headed fish, man. A lot of coral. I don't know how coral would do, the reefs, in regards to that radiation, if it would kill them or not. I'm thinking it probably would. The tourist trade is too important. Well, I know you guys are bankrupt out there or something. I just talked to Ralph earlier. He was in the live stream. He talks about California having, I couldn't believe he showed the gas prices in California. Hey, Dave, the gas prices out here are $1.39 a gallon. That's what it was. I'm sure it's probably $1.25 or something now. But last week when I did it was $1.39 a gallon. You guys are paying way too much for gas out there. Somebody's pocketing money somewhere, Dave. $2.49. You're paying $1 more than I am. $1.10. You're paying $1.10 more than I am. Crazy. My guess is your state tax on fuel is probably ridiculous. Yeah. I don't know, man. Never been to California. I probably wouldn't mind visiting, but it looks beautiful. But, you know, Joe Rogan, my brother Joe, he says that the traffic's terrible out there. You got 5 seasons. You're either on fire, mudslides, hurricanes, tornadoes, earthquakes. I don't know. Maybe Mother Earth's telling you guys something. Drought now. See fires, earthquakes, mudslides, tornadoes, San Andreas Fault. I think Mother Earth's saying you guys need to get out. Oh, we got our boy from Canada, Lionel. He's talking about liters. We don't do liters here, brother, not unless we're in the chemistry lab. $3 a gallon? Man, you guys are getting ripped off again. It's a shame. Man, I'm paying $1.39. Excuse me. It'll be locusts next. Oh, yeah. Yeah, fire and brimstone, the whole thing. You have people out there saying, he's coming. He's coming. Yeah. I wouldn't hold my breath. All right. I got Ed's attention to detail. I have to look at his playlist. Anybody else want to swap playlists with me? All right, Dave. David is the playlist we're swapping. I'm going to put it on tonight, David. That's 2. My playlist is just do the entire one. It says entire playlist. You get bags. 4 liters of milk, $10. Holy cow. Man, I think I'd start just drinking water, forget milk. All right, I got 2 people that I'm going to watch your guys' playlist tonight, and hopefully you'll watch mine. You got it, bud. Thank you, David. All right, y'all, I'm going to call it a night. I want to thank you all for coming. Scully and I both thank you all for coming tonight. And we'll be watching y'all's content like always. My new content on Saturday is going to be about the knee. Obviously, that's what it was tonight. And so take a look out for that. Hopefully Saturday afternoon or something like that, I'll have it all done. I haven't figured it all out yet, but we'll go from there. But we got Putin. Oh, yeah. You got Putin, all right. Mother Russia. Yeah, ex-KGB. Gotta love that one. All right there, Ernie, Hatmaker. I know Ed will play yours. It's already gotten started. Oh, well, that's very nice. You guys are wonderful. All right, y'all. I'm going to go ahead and call it a night. Keep an outlook, everybody. Be safe, and Scully and I will see you next time.